While I was waiting for Tiffany to done, I already draw her design, and I numb it. I did everything. I did the same measurement like Tiffany did. Like I think that's the best way for you to make sure that get the design same right and left. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the microblading first, as I mentioned earlier, and then on the second sessions, I'm gonna add a little bit of microshading. I can also show you how to use the machine microshading. However, she has a bit of hair. I don't think it's necessary for me to use the machine, but if you wanna see how it works, I can kind of show you a little bit of something. Yeah. So now I'm gonna start. I'm gonna let her laying down. Before I do, I just wanna tell you, I do a little bit differently than Tiffany. That doesn't mean I'm wrong or she's wrong, just a different way to do it. And I think most of you guys dip the ink pigment first and then draw, but me, I don't do that. I just do with blade without putting any pigments. That way, I think it's easier for me to see the flow more. I mean, that's just my way. It's just everybody's different. And at the same time, when I place the pigment, I think it goes evenly than if I dip it and then just try to, because when you dip it and when you try to draw the strokes, sometimes if you are not, like Tiffany's an expert, I mean you guys are an expert too, but then if you are not comfortable with like doing what you're doing, I recommend to do just without putting the pigments and then just without it. Maybe that makes you even better when actually you see the healed result. Because if you dip the pigments and go over, sometimes the pigment actually goes a little deeper on the area you press more. Okay, I will show you how I do. I don't know if she can get the sight. Come a little bit closer. And I use this blue, I don't know if you guys seen already, the blue needle that you have, it was on your package, right? And this one looks like this. I think most of you guys use the other blades, but I think everything works the same, but I personally like this blades better because you can actually play a little easier with this blade. Remember how I sometimes use the tip of the blades and sometimes I use all the blades, and this one actually it's easy to handle it. I mean, I'm very sensitive with the needle, so I can tell the difference, but maybe you cannot really tell the difference, but for me, I'm very sensitive, so I see it, I feel it. Same thing, but now I'm gonna show you, I'm not using all the blade, I'm just only using the tip of the blade. Remember how, like 3-point stretch, pull up. Okay. Don't get scared because you're gonna see the blood.
She's blocking with her fingers.
So maybe.
So when she's further down.
Can you come back of me? It's better. Good. Mm-mm.
Can you raise it?
Just move it, just so she.
Okay. Let me try something.
You okay? Mm-hmm. And make sure you clean your blade. Sometimes stuff stuck on your blades in between. So I like to clean sometimes just to make sure when you draw the strokes, you are not disturbing, those things are not disturbing your strokes. You know how, can you see the stretch I do? I know it's kind of scary, but sometimes I like to squeeze a little bit to see where the line is. It is.
Is there other reasons why you do this method as well, without using the pigment?
Because I like to. Because if I put the pigments, it's blocking my way. Because it's sometimes if I didn't like really dip it right, then it blocks my other line or previous line, so that it kind of blocks my vision. So I don't like to. So I just rather do this way.
I think it's cool. I'm excited to try it this way.
So you can just try either way. Like you pick up the best method that works best for you is yours. Or you can use both. But make sure that you follow the 3 key components: stretch, pressure, and the angle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes before I put the numbing and put the pigment sitting for like 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes I would like to put some pigment quickly just to see how quickly the pigment goes in. That's one of my way to figure out what kind of skin type she has, so that before she goes home, I can explain what things that she can expect. And she's crying not because it's hurting, it's her eyes. She has a little bit of problem with her eyes. I'm seriously, like she has a
very sensitive eyes.
Yeah, tell them.
I have very sensitive eyes. Any wind, anything, I get tears. So it's not like it's no pain. I'm very scared of pain. You can see my hands like numbing, but it's not hurting at all.
Well, your voice are very shaking though.
Because in front of everyone. It's my first time.
Okay, so that proves that it's not hurting, I think.
Yes, it's not hurting. It's just like I cannot put lenses, nothing.
can you hold this one for me? Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I thought that was too cool.
Oh, sorry.
And you know, sometimes you can use your gloves to see what the undercolor is, because just by looking at this pigment, where should I go? Like here, it's pretty dark right here, right? But when you actually try to put on your latex gloves and try to wipe it, you can actually see the undercolor, which is the color that the person that turns on her person's skin. So it's easier for you to. So that if you put cool colors on here, you will see the undercolor. So you can see with the pigment, whether the pigment has a little bit of a red color or yellow color, or like even little grayish color, you can actually see undercolor through your rubber for the glove from the gloves. So now that I quickly clean the pigments, I can tell her skin is pretty normal because I just wiped it pretty quickly just to see it. And now I'm gonna put the numbing just to make sure when I do it again, she doesn't feel hurt. Now I'll go the other side. I need to go a little bit up there. Can you? So there's a tip. If their skin is too oily, like when you try to stretch, sometimes you know how slippery it is. So use the napkins, just clean the around of the design. It will make it dry and you can eventually hold it. It's not slippery anymore. See how I used the first few needles just to draw the strokes? And can you look at my arms going up? If it's hard for you to make it rounded, use your arm to swing. If you put up high, it actually make easier for you to move a little more, move towards to up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me just explain again. if you see, push your arms up, then it actually creates the way, it makes your way, yes, thank you. It's easier to move than just sitting like this. Of course, you're not gonna have very smooth strokes. You have to actually make your body to feel free, like to create the strokes. It's hard to explain. Give more space to yourself, I guess. Looks like I'm using all the blades, but actually I'm using just a few blades in the front. As I said, I think she has a little thin brows than normal people, so I try to make it as thin as possible, because even if you make the strokes thin, when it heals, it becomes a little bit choppy. Sorry for keep moving.
Yeah. That's
For a second, everybody ran home. So quiet. Do you see it? No, it's not. You can come up later when I do the shading, because this is pretty much same as what Tiffany did. So to save time, I'm just gonna skip that part. Just gonna put another numbing for her. I'm just gonna wait for 5 minutes until the pigment goes in. In the meantime, I can take your question. Do you guys have any questions regarding how I do? No?
Are you going to do a second pass?
Yes, I'm gonna do the second pass.
So you leave that on for 5 minutes, then do a second pass?
Yes. I would like to redesign. After this, I want to redesign just because when you draw the strokes, sometimes, because we are not measuring the length, like even if we put the dots top to bottom just to connect or to see where to start and where to end, sometimes you miss that. So if you miss a little bit of it, the shape actually changes. So what I like to do, I actually have them sit up again after that, then I just do design one more time. It will be quicker and easier second time because already microbladed, and all we can do is just outlining again just to make sure that we get the right shape, and then we do either continue microblading or microshading. Okay. Let's see. Excuse me. Just to save time, I'm just gonna quickly do it. So you can sit up.
Yep.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You can sit up. So here she doesn't have enough hair at the end. So what I'm gonna do in this part, I'm gonna do a little bit of the shading. And here too. Do you see it? And the bottom, she didn't really have hair here, so I'm gonna shade in here so you can compare. But since she already have a good design, I don't think I need to do one more design. I'm just gonna let her lying down again and then continue, okay? Like that. So now I use the shading needle that you guys have.
You don't really once again with microblading?
Not really. Sometimes I do, but I don't think for now. Yeah.
Can we take a look after you do like one brow shading and just do the comparison?
Yeah, sure. So I will show you how it looks like and you can compare with the others. Yeah. So you dip the pigment. The amount doesn't matter. You can just dip it like this. Some people, they're scared of to dip too much, but Actually, there's no right amount. Just dip it like this and pull up, like stretch. And count 5 in a one spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I noticed some people do like they like to kind of like digs in and then pull up. Don't do that. You just go directly like the position you go in and then come back the same way. You don't really like do it like this. Goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you move it to the next one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that's why we need a machine sometimes. Because if you work on this little bit of area, this one work perfectly fine. But you don't want to do whole brow like doing this for like forever. And what did I say? I don't know if I didn't walk around, so some of them didn't get what I was saying. It's not wet cotton. Should be dry cotton. You just tap it. You don't wipe it like this for the shading. You just tap it, and then that's it. And then you go over on top.
So when you're doing shading, whether it's with the machine or manual, you're never doing any dragging with shading. You're stippling it in.
Yeah, but then machine, you have to drag like
Turn it off.
left
Yeah,
to
turn
the
it
right. Because machine itself, it vibrates and it's
Tremendous
actually
support, sorry.
moving up and down, up and down. All you need to do is dragging. You
So
just,
you are you do
yeah, but
drag.
not manual shading though. But
Manual
with,
shading, you don't drag.
no, you can't because it's not moving. But then machine, on the other hand, as I said, it moves up and down, like vibrating. So you actually have to move, you have to drag to go to other side of the eyebrows.
Okay. So when you drag, are you dragging back and forth or just going like outwards?
You going back and forth, and as I explained, don't do too deep. It's better to do a few layers than try to do one spot for a long time. I normally draw my strokes close to each other, but because I want to show you guys how the micro shading works, I actually draw the strokes very like have more gap this time, because otherwise you won't be able to see the shading. So I on purposely draw the strokes have the gaps between the strokes. But normally I like to draw like very close to each other. Bit. 아파? You okay?
Yeah. 조금 pressure.
Do you see the area here? The gap? Do you see the gap? Right? So normally I draw one more strokes in between again because I want to show you how the pigment goes in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's quite a bit of work actually, but motion makes it a lot easier. You know how I follow the strokes? I just fill in between the strokes. Again, this is perfect to cover what microblading couldn't cover in the beginning, so that when they come back for touch-up, you still do the microblading, and then make sure that you just fill between the microblading just to give them defined eyebrows. Let me just wipe it. Now you can wipe at the normal wipes like we do when we do microblading, but gently.
Now, if the shading goes over top of the lines, is that bad?
No, it's not bad, as long as you don't do too deep. See how you know how I do? It's very light. Because a lot of people tend to press like hard or try to poke very hard because you want the pigment to goes in, but that's actually not how it works. Again, the layer actually makes it even darker and fuller look. Not like putting too much pressure on it. Do you see a little bit of dotting here, like filled in? Do you see it? Very light. So I'm just gonna do one more layer on top. Do you see little shading there between line? It's not easy to see there, but later you guys can come up and see. But does it hurt? Because if you do one pass, what happens is they might start feeling a little bit of pain. So you can ask them if they feel the pain. I would stop it and go to the other eyebrows and work on the other eyebrows and come back again here. Okay. So she feels a little bit, so I'm just gonna stop here and then put another numbing. You can just compare with this one and this one. This one versus this one. It's already, you can see already the difference, right? So the thing is, when you apply the numbing again and the pigments, the client feel a little burning sensation. So it's better to tell them before you do, so they are expecting what's coming. And sorry for telling you again later.
Exactly. You told me after.
Here, stretching. See here, do you see the gap between? Again, I would like to put more line here, but then I didn't do it this time, just because I want to clearly visualize how the dotting looks like between the gap, between the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need a lot of practice for this. It looks easy, but sometimes if you didn't practice and try to do on cleaned face, you might think it's not gonna work, but actually this is the great, again, backup plan for microblading that's faded here and there. You know how my angle is not like this angle? and it's actually tilted like this, but then again my needle and the skin is actually 90-degree on the area of the needle actually goes in and out, in and out. Do you see a little powder between the line? It gets a little darker between here. So I'm gonna do one more layer on top.
Katie, I know this client isn't bleeding, but do people ever bleed with this procedure?
For the micro shading, yeah, it is bleeding, but micro shading, because we are just poking, creating dots, you don't really see the blood. But then you're gonna see the sensitivity of the skin. Once you are done, you're gonna see the around their eyebrow become a little bit red because it gets very sensitive. But you can explain that. That's not the pigment, that's just their skin got sensitive. That's why I don't wanna wipe it like this. I just wanna tap it just to minimize the sensitivity. So I'm just doing very slowly, so it takes time, but if you are used to it, then you can do a little bit fast like this. You can increase the speed. Do you see more color filled in? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Do you see it? Even if I didn't do a lot, you know how the actually pigment goes in? Even if I didn't do like really hard, still goes in. So don't get scared when you first try, even if the pigment didn't go in, you think, but don't try even harder. Just do the same pressure and just keep over and over again until you really see the background color. But remember, don't press too hard. Just gonna put a little more numbing here. And then we're gonna do one more each and she's done. And you're gonna feel a little bit of burning sensation when I apply the numbing again and pigment. I know you want me to compare not doing shading and doing shading. I just did it. Yeah, I just show you how it looks different. Okay. I remember what you said. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more on top. I think now you guys can take turn. Maybe how, I don't know how we did it before the Tiffany. Okay.
Okay. Should we just press it again? Because yeah, I think we just finished it.
Yeah. So you can, some of them go over there too, just to see it.
Yeah, just tell me. Make sure it has a really good coat. No?
Okay.
You good? Yeah.
So put the pigment and stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just keep moving. As I said, it's okay if you go over on the microblading. It should be fine, because of what we are doing here, we are just pretty much giving the pigments between the lines and the area that's it's empty. And how gently I'm pressing. I'm really doing very light dotting. Not like poking like this, just very gentle. See, the color went in more, and then a little more here. Now, this is the last pass that as I said. Now I'm gonna wipe it now like this. Tap it without wet cotton so that you can observe the pigments that's covering, because you need to see how the color went in. And then I'm just gonna wipe a little bit like this, okay? It's gentle. See?
So the stroke should still look nice and defined.
Yes, yes. But you're just
And that's
filling
just
between.
light, kinda.
Yes. Okay? So here, that's how it looks.
People can go around the other side.
Powder, the stroke is still there. We are just filling in the powder effect there, so that it defines, the shape defines more.
Wow.
So it's very easy. Just a little bit of time consuming,
Yeah.
but again,
So on the tail you went over.
spot, or are you moving slowly?
pardon me?
Are you doing 5 in one spot, or are you moving slowly?
Yeah, one spot, like, as you know how I count 5?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, then you move.
In the same spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm doing very gently.
And you're doing the tail more times than
Yes,
the
because
silk line.
she has hair here pretty much, but
Mhm.
she doesn't have a hair at the end and at the bottom here.
Mhm.
So I just figured out which area that she doesn't have hair. Then I do more
Right.
shading here. I could have done more strokes here, but I just want to show you guys how it looks like. So I made a huge gap between the strokes, but I normally fill
So
in
you
more.
can come on 90 degree like this way or this way?
Doesn't matter as long as
it's-
it goes into it 90 degree, and then you comes back like this. Now like doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
왼쪽 다 끝나가 아플라 그래. 너무 땡.
반대쪽. Some people can go on the other side of the bed.
So when the last layer, you might wanna wipe little bit, but gentle. I know I said don't do this, but when at the last layer, because you need to see how the color went in, so you just gently wipe it like this and see how the pigments went in. Do you see it? Like powder filled in? It's not gonna stay like, it's gonna blend it with the microblading, and the microblading will still stay there. But it's just it's filling the between the microblading so that they don't say, oh, there's an empty or more fading spot. They're not gonna complain. It's very good. And here I'm not gonna do it because she has hair already. So I'm just gonna do it like tail part. And here, because she doesn't have hair, I just made a huge gap here to show you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just to keep moving. Count 5.
So it's just not like in one spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move there quickly. Do quickly, because you don't want to like do very slow. Just go quickly. As long as you figure out how you do, just do quickly, just to, I guess, save time and so that they don't feel pain. So I'm just gonna stop here. She's done on this part. Okay.
Compare 할까요?
이렇게.
근데 눈물 닦지 마. 왜냐면 눈 안에 아파.
So you can compare here. This is already powdered microshade. You know how the strokes is still there? And here, on the other hand, we need to do one more pass. But you know how we have a gap between and it's not really defined. So we're gonna do shading here in between just to make sure that's defined more.
See, but I feel like it's like breathing on her head.
So I'm not doing like this, going little slanted, but still the needle and the skin is 90 degrees. So you go in, go up the same way. You go in, go out the same way. So you don't really press like hard, just gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So Minnie, if they have an old permanent like tattoo, a machine would be better, right?
Yes.
Because the skin seems more tough.
Yes, you're right. Yep. 아파? 언니 아파?
I'll switch.
Is her skin
Oh
thin?
yeah, sure.
Yes.
This is, I feel really
And
bad.
then-
Yeah, the handheld.
Her skin's thin.
And very elastic, like
I'm like-
very.
I was like,
You can tell, right?
I don't get anymore.
Yeah, no hair. This would probably be a little easier. I'm just saying.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna clean it
For me,
so
I
you
feel
can
that it's
see.
more my back.
Do you see
I'm short.
little? And that's what I'm
Whole body?
what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
no,
Even
like
if
me,
you
it's my
see
arms,
like,
right?
oh, maybe no coloring,
shorter, I
don't
think my
press
back
too
would be
hard. Just do it on top. Do it again on top of it. That doesn't mean you are doing wrong. You are doing right. But
No, you're
just
doing-
because
you're
her
doing a
skin
good job.
tight,
You're doing a really good angle.
it doesn't show right away. Then we need a few layers on top.
I know you didn't sign up for this one.
Damn it! Why did I?
Okay.
Did you
Gonna-
say you have to go over it 3 times?
Yes, like you tap it and then go over on top. And one more time.
And are you just doing that on the tail?
Yeah, on your tails or on the area that she doesn't have a lot of hair. I suggest to do that way. Okay.
Looks so good.
Like see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how it has like filling then already here, and then you can do one more layer. Okay. Next one.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Do you want to stay here? Do you want to?
Okay. Yeah. Let me put in the stand.
And then.
여기 피그멘트 바를게. 좀 따가워.
Okay, this one.
괜찮아 언니?
Okay. Let me.
I found some. I love the best.
Try out.
All done?
No, the last row in the front.
다 바른 거야?
응?
다 발랐어?
여기도 아파?
Almost done. Two more groups.
Okay. Excuse me.
스킨을 당길 때 아파 많이 벌릴 때.
조금만 참아줘.
Looks so good. Oh, the dots are so small.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One spot. You move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know the 5 rules can be broken. If you think 7 is better, you can count 7 in a one spot. But I do 5, but that doesn't necessarily. That's not the like a answer. If you can change the rule. Like you can do 7. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and then move it to next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and move to next.
This is the dream new brow.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
See how gently it goes in, right?
Jamie, you want to turn it back on?
What's wrong?
Yeah. I give that a click, so.
And also, I like
see
to
red-
do the
the red
area
light?
that
Okay.
she have less hair, which
Okay.
I did
Yeah, that
already
one
here.
is
It's
12
little
minutes, this one's
shading
10
there.
minutes, so.
I'm just gonna do this one here so that you can see it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
over top of your.
Actually, not really, but it's actually depending on how you do it. I mean, there's no right answer. As long as it brings up the great result, I think that's, yeah. Like how, you know, Tiffany sometimes goes over the line that she already draw. If that brings up good result, then that's good. Do you see the shading? Right? Very
Subtle,
natural,
very
yes.
subtle.
Okay, so the next two groups. 다 했어. 한 번만 더 참아줘. 한 번만 더 참아줘, 여기.
못 올려주는 거야?
줄게. 사진 좀 해줄게.
I'm good. You know what? It's alright. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So now, I already work on a little bit. I'm just gonna go over one more layer on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your favorite number is 7, I've been telling them like you can count 7 or 10, up to 10, I would say.
You're hitting
But-
that one spot, right? 5 times?
Yeah, 5 times
5
or
times.
5 to 10 times.
Okay, 5 times.
And if you get used to it, you can do fast. But when you're new, like you kind of go slow, but then actually you can do like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like and then move.
Looks good. Very natural.
See how gently go between, and still the strokes are still there. The healed result even amazing. Like, I mean, immediately after, it's actually depends on how much pressure their skin types. Sometimes the picture picks up like redness around it, and they might think it's good, not good. But then, actually, the result is actually good. So don't worry about like making their skin little irritated and become red. That doesn't mean that you're doing wrong. But if it's too red, that means you are doing too much pressure. So you can actually see.
You will require them to come back for a touch-up, obviously, right?
Yes.
Is it still 4 to 6 weeks?
Yes, 4 to 6 weeks. But again, I do these techniques when they come back for touch-up.
Right.
Normally, I do microblading first,
Okay.
unless they have less hair. But for hair types, I don't do microshading first time.
Okay. It looks good, though. It's very good.
Yeah, but I could even do more like line and close to each other.
Yeah.
Then you don't actually need to
Yeah.
do the shading. But then again, I purposely did it so that I can show you guys.
Right. It looks really great.
It actually good. It's actually good. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll.
I think we're the last
Yeah. Okay.
While you finish up, can I just wrap up?
Yeah, and then question. Yeah, you can.
Question.
Yeah.
I can do this now?
Yeah, sure.
Jamie, that's
Get
not better.
the mic.
It's way better.
Get the mic.
Yeah, it's different, so it's better. It's just I have fabric, so it's like,
No worries. It's okay. You have to do this a lot to kind of get used to it.
oh my gosh, now I never want to be a part of a video.
Okay, while Minnie finishes up,
When you're doing weddings, they have to do speeches, so they talk as much as they want. So.
All right, so while Minnie just finishes up her client, which she's doing a great job, it's question time. So if you have any questions that come up, and you guys had great participation, so I love that you guys are asking questions throughout, because I know questions come up. But if you have any more questions right now, we can definitely answer some of those for you. Any of the demo questions or aftercare and stuff like that. Well, now everyone runs out of questions. So while you guys think of the questions, I'm actually going to show you some stretching techniques. Because if you do this for a long time, you'll notice it really hurts the side that you're microblading on. Sometimes, if you have a dowel is basically like a wooden stick that's like long. It looks like basically like a broomstick without the broom part, right? Take the dowel and stretch it so that your arms, and my personal trainer told me how to do this, so it's from an expert, because I was like, I'm experiencing pain. Hold your arms straight and try to push your arms and dowel back as much as you can. So because you're doing this all the time, right, you're hunched over, there's a lot of tension,
5 minutes and she's done.
And so it really gets your shoulder and your arm really, really inflamed. So I do recommend occasional massages as well to really massage the muscles. But also, if you don't have a dowel, just take a